All right, my friends, we just pressed the Let's Go Live button on this little bit of a late night stream. How are we doing? It's a beautiful Thursday. Let's wait for the tubes to connect themselves all across the fruited plains of the interwebs before we go ahead and get started. Got to make sure we are broadcasting, otherwise we're just rambling. No one can hear us. Hello, Rob. Hello. Looks like our tubes are connecting themselves nicely. Let's check this thing over here. All right, and it is kicking over, isn't it? Hopefully. We're good on YouTube. Let's go. There we go. All right. We're getting started. So let's do it, shall we? Hello, my friends, and welcome back to yet another episode of Watching the Watchers Live, the show that spotlights misconduct involving police, prosecutors, and politicians. My name is Robert Gouveia. I am a criminal defense attorney, and today we are talking about Hunter Biden. We've got a trial coming up in the Hunter Biden case. Of course, we've been spending a lot of time here on the Trump trials, but let us not forget that the first son also has a smorgasbord of criminal problems, mostly because of his own doing. He could have just taken a plea deal and called this some time ago, but he decided not to do that. So we've got trial now scheduled in this case. It was earlier this year. Unfortunately, they have continued it to September 5th, 2024. We're a little bit, we were kind of looking forward to an earlier trial on it, but that's pretty good too. As long as they don't continue this again, trial will start for the president's son in September. That seems curious. So feels like their little lawfare attack might be backfiring on them a bit if their own son is going to be on trial right now. So we'll see how that plays out for them. But as the government is preparing for this trial, we have the government's trial brief. And so we're going to read through it. It's about 20 pages. And inside they lay out their case. They say, this is what we're going to be doing. This is how we're going to prove that Hunter is a criminal. I can't believe it's taken them so long, but we'll go through it. And what was attached to that is the text messages that he sent to a bunch of different people. And of course, this is about addiction. And this is about Hunter buying a gun when he was not supposed to buy a gun. You fill out the form. The form says, I'm not using illegal drugs. And he, of course, was. And the text messages show that. So we'll go through that. We'll see what is inside and see what the government is intending to prove in their case. And then we'll stick around and see what's going on with Hunter's sugar daddy. You remember him, Kevin Morris. There's been some stories back and forth that he is no longer funding the legal bills for Hunter, just kind of decided not maybe a good investment. Our idea was, yeah, he was investing in Hunter as long as daddy had some power. But if daddy's on the way out because he's about to get obliterated by Trump in 2024, no longer a good investment. But it turns out, we've been asking ourselves for quite some time, why is Hunter Biden, why is it seemingly a situation where he can always get away with everything? He can be in Burisma collecting $83,000 a month and so on, just kind of being a criminal all over the world and nobody cares, including our government. And the question is, was he an asset? Was he literally connected to the CIA or some such thing? And now there is a new drop from Gary Shapley, the IRS whistleblower who we've talked a lot about here, doing amazing work. And he released a new affidavit. Jason Foster posted about this on X. You know who he is. And so we'll read through that report from Gary Shapley. It's a new affidavit, but it's basically saying that the CIA was putting pressure on the DOJ to not pursue Kevin Morris. Like they wanted Kevin Morris to continue to do his funding, his sugar daddying of Hunter Biden. So very strange situation over there. And we'll see what is going on with Gary Shapley's affidavit. Of course, Jason Smith, who heads up the Oversight Committee, or the Financial Ways and Means Committee, rather, he was also out talking about this here today. And so you can see we've got two segments to get to today, my friends. It is a beautiful Thursday. Our schedule is a little bit wonked out today. As you can tell, your boy was over at the Genius Network all day, going to be there all day tomorrow too. And so the schedule will likely change tomorrow as well. But great to be back. We had a beautiful time there and learning lots. It's always good to be the dumbest person in the room. But before we get into everything, we got to make sure we're up to speed on what is going on out there with the bird flu situation. You know, we got to get prepared. And apparently the bird flu situation is more widespread than we thought. They're testing the cow poo And turns out it's there. Monitoring showing hints of the virus. Countries use sewage to track COVID-19. We learned yesterday that some other person in the United States tested positive for this thing. And so we've got to get prepared. How can we do that? Well, obviously our friends at the Wellness Company. Now, the Wellness Company has a contagion emergency kit that is prescription based, and it's the only kit of its kind. It comes from the Wellness Company. It gives you an assortment, very effective medications for all sorts of various illnesses that might pop up. We don't know what will pop up, so it's better to have stuff you need prepared and stored aside for yourself. It's got things like ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, Z-Pak, Tamiflu, other inhalers, nebulizers, bunch of good stuff backed by research from people like Dr. Peter McCullough. You know who he is. And so every American should have at least one of these kits at your home. Very simple to order. Go to twc.health/Robert. Super easy. I've done it. Use code Robert. You'll save and you'll get free shipping. Very convenient, very easy. Safeguard your health. Go to twc.health/Robert. And these kits are only available in the USA, and there's a bunch of good stuff inside. So get prepared, my friends, and thanks for supporting our sponsors here today. All right, and so without any further ado, let's get into the debauchery from this degenerate called Hunter and see what's inside these text messages. Oh boy, here we go. Hunter Biden's ex-wife may be called to testify. He's now scheduled for a trial. And isn't it interesting that his trial is now scheduled for September 5th, 2024, just a couple months away from the election? That'll be very curious to see how the country reacts to this trial. This one, legitimate. We've got a whole book of criminality about Hunter Biden, courtesy of Marco Polo USA and our friend Garrett Ziegler and his team. And they're exposing what Hunter has been involved in. You can get that book over there at marcopolousa.org. Check them out. But my point is, this is now all coming to a head, and this was rigged from the very beginning. Remember that Hunter had basically convinced the DOJ not to prosecute him at all. They were just going to decline charges, and then they were going to bring out some sort of essentially a diversion deal. Then he was going to plead guilty and kind of have this immunity deal, and he just threw a hissy fit, and the judge really set the case for trial. If he's not going to plead guilty, well, here we are. We've got trial. And so September 5th is coming up. A slight delay. It was scheduled for earlier, but when they were in court very recently, the judge postponed it. Hunter's looking a little nervous there, aren't you, Hunter? Now, the tax charges have been moved, unfortunately, to September 5th after the judge presiding over the case made Biden's attorney promise he would not seek further delays. Ooh, we going to have Hunty Poo on trial before the election? That'll be fun. In asking for a delay in the case, Hunter's lawyer, we know who he is, Abby Lowell, an attorney for Biden, cited issues with discovery, witnesses, obtaining experts, as well as the upcoming trial on federal gun crimes in Delaware, which is currently set for June 3rd. Now, Hunter Biden, the son of President Joe Biden, has been accused of engaging in tax avoidance conspiracy for years, lavish lifestyle, drugs, guns, pictures, hookers, the whole thing. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Now, the efforts to delay the gun trial in Delaware, those have repeatedly failed, and he waived his appearance at today's court. Now, the time to try this case is now, said the prosecutor, Leo Weiss. And you got to be very careful in this case, all right? There's a little bit of patty cake going on between these two sides. And your boy here is ordinarily on team defense attorney, but we've got a precarious position here because the defense attorney is representing Hunter, who's a real piece of work. But we also know from our many, many, many conversations here that the DOJ is a real piece of work. And so we have our problems here. We've got a whole bunch of garbage individuals involved in this. So what are we going to do about it? So we got to make heads and tails of it. But Leo Weiss was part of the same guy who was trying to get Hunter to kind of agree to just take the plea deal. If he would have just agreed to take the plea deal, they would have never charged him for the crimes he was worried about. And if they did, he could have used the plea deal as an excuse, say it was already final and done, but it wouldn't have happened. My point is, the government is now trying to, I think, save face a little bit, but we'll see how this plays out. And I wouldn't, my friends, I wouldn't put it past them to throw the trial. Happens all the time. They try a police officer for shooting and killing someone. Suddenly the prosecutors fall asleep at the desk. What's an objection? All of a sudden, when they have to, when the defendant is on their side. Happened here in Arizona, the Philip Brailsford case. Happens all the time. Suddenly the prosecutors just become deaf and dumb. We don't know how to do it. they don't know how to prosecute a cop, for example. So these government prosecutors, well, the time to try this case is now. Don't buy it, right? Who knows? He says, I reject that zealously. Representing a client is a delaying tactic, says Avi Lowell. They said there's just a lot of noise around this case, but that doesn't make it complex, says the government. It's just a case against an individual taxpayer. The volume of exhibits is not massive. It's just tax documents. In this court, they said, we like to set schedules and keep them, said the judge, Judge Mark Scarsey. In a ruling that the trial date will be moved to September, he says the needs of the defendant outweigh the prejudice in moving it. So trial gets moved. We'll see if it stays on there in September. But what we do know is that the government is getting ready. And so let's dive into this brief and see what they are going to prepare. And this is from 520 out of the District of Delaware, back in Joe Biden's backyard. As the election is ramping up, the government's preparing for a trial for his son. Now, this is the same guy, David Weiss, same special counsel who was behind the rigged deal in the first place. So now he's like, well, I'm like a real tough prosecutor. Like, we know, okay. We saw what you wrote. We made videos about it not long ago, David. So don't try to fool us like you're a tough guy now. But anyways, here they come out. So we're doing this patty cake game between the DOJ and the son of the guy who runs the DOJ. Okay. So they say the defendant, this is a prosecutor speaking, Robert Hunter Biden, they say, chose to lie on a federal background check form required for the purchase of a firearm. You know that is the form 4473. Hunter went in there. He said, I'd like to buy a firearm. I'm a real tough guy, you know. By falsely stating, because Hunter thought he was kind of like a gangster or something. I don't know what his thing was, but that's what I think he thought he was. He had scales with his crack on it and all sorts of stuff. So he thought he's a real hard, tough guy. All right. So he says, he went in, I'm going to buy a gun, fills out the form. He falsely stated, are you an unlawful user of a controlled substance on that form? You check that box and no, all the way down. No, substance or an addict. And when in fact he was both. So he lied. And by lying, he was able to illegally buy a gun on October 12, 2018. And he chose to illegally possess that firearm until it was taken from his possession on August 23rd, 2018. Trump's in the White House. Now, Hunter is charged in a 3-count indictment violating various statutes for making a false statement during a background check. So he filled out the form incorrectly to deceive a firearms dealer. And he also made a false statement on a background check form that the firearms dealer was required to maintain. And he also had illegal possession of a firearm in count 3. Now, the trial was scheduled for June 3rd on that one. The other one, I think, got bumped to September. So we do have a June trial, I think, is where this one is currently scheduled for. Now, this trial brief sets forth the elements that the government will prove at trial. So what are they going to drop on us? Now, it's also going to summarize some of the evidence the government will use to do so. They say, here's the law. Now, in order to find the defendant, Hunter, guilty of count 1, here's what we got to prove. And we often talk about these as checkboxes. And so when you think about this related to some of the Trump trials we're covering here, like, for example, the Alvin Bragg case, we don't have anything like this. We don't have a list of ingredients that you have to get in order to bake the crime. So they tell us, okay, first, that the seller was a licensed dealer. So the gun store sold it licensed. The defendant may, with a license to sell it, not that the gun was licensed. I want to be clear. Now, that the defendant made a false statement. So Hunter made a false statement, went in there, said something or wrote something wrong. Third, the defendant knew the statement was false. So we break this down. We talk about mens rea and actus reus. So this is a mental state. He knew it was a knowing crime, and then he took an act. He made a false statement. And what was the false statement intended to do? To deceive the seller, right? You had intent to deceive the seller. Now, Hunter has agreed to stipulate that the firearm charged in the indictment was a firearm. So we don't have to debate that. They don't have to prove this. While acquiring a firearm. Yeah, it's a gun. Don't have to prove it's a gun. Don't have to bring an expert in to qualify it's a gun. Yes, it's a gun. Okay, we got it. And they've also agreed to stipulate that the dealer was a licensed dealer. It was a gun store. Don't need to fight that either. But that leaves 3 issues for trial with respect to count 1. So we have to get into this now. Whether Hunter made a false statement when he filled out the form. Was he using the drugs or not? Whether Hunter knew that the statement was false, and whether the false statement was material to the sale. So in other words, if Hunter would have said, yes, I'm a crackhead, would they have sold him a gun? Answer, no. But they'll need evidence of that. So that's just for count 1. Now count 2. In order to find Hunty guilty of this offense, the jury must find that the government proved each of the 4 elements here beyond a reasonable doubt. Similarly, defendant Hunty knowingly made a statement or representation in the same form, that Hunter made the statement to a federally licensed firearm dealer, that the representation was false, and that Hunty knew that the statement was untrue when he made the statement. So slightly different elements, but largely the same. Now, because Hunter agreed to stipulate that, yes, he had a license, and because we don't have to worry about materiality as we do in count 1, that only leaves these 2 issues, which are identical to the same as above. So we'll fast forward. Count 3. In order to find the Hunter guilty of this offense, here's what we've got to prove now. Possession of a firearm by a drug user or a drug addict. So here's what you got to prove. Hunter was an unlawful user of a controlled substance, and that is crack cocaine. Kind of a big one, you know. Now, Hunter also knowingly possessed a firearm. That is a Colt Cobra 38 special revolver with this serial number while he was a crackhead. So crack and gun. And third, at the time that Hunter knowingly possessed the firearm, he knew he was an unlawful user of the crack. And fourth, the firearm was transported across a state line at some time during or before Hunter's possession of it. Now, as noted, Hunter agreed to stipulate on the firearm. We know it's a gun. The defendant agreed to stipulate the firearm was transported across a state line at some point before Hunter got it. And so that leaves these only issues here. Whether Hunter was either one of the following. He was either an unlawful user of a controlled substance, or he was a drug addict. And whether he knowingly possessed a firearm, and whether that he knew he was an unlawful user as well while he possessed the firearm. Okay. So we now know what the elements are. Those are the check boxes. Pretty simple. We don't have those in the Alvin Bragg case because they don't even know what those are. Now, all counts instructions should regarding unlawful user and drug addict. They give us some explanation here. They say the court should also instruct the jury. What are the definitions? They say unlawful user of a controlled substance. They say use those terms as they're used in the statutes. The government proposed a jury instruction utilized by the 8th Circuit. We provided it here. They say the phrase unlawful user of a controlled substance means if you use a substance in a manner other than as prescribed by a physician. So that's, makes sense. You're using off-label. You could be using, for example, you could be using a prescription drug without a prescription. So you don't have the prescription, but it is technically a prescription drug that maybe came from a pharmacy, just not your prescription. So that's not for you. The defendant must be actively engaged in the use of this during the time of the possession. The use is not limited to the use of drugs on a particular day, but whether it's recent enough. An inference that they're actively engaged can be drawn. Now, the term drug addict means someone who habitually uses this substance so as to endanger themselves or the health, safety, or welfare of others. Now, this instruction is based on the Treasury Department on its gun regulations. The 8th Circuit has also approved this definition. We know that the government, in order to prove this, must show some temporal nexus. So the possession of the gun is on one axis and the drug use is on another axis. And we're trying to find where there's a cross in time. But the government is not required that they have to be at the same time. In other words, that he possessed the gun while he was high on crack. Don't have to prove that exactly, just as long as there's an overlap. Rather, it's sufficient that the government demonstrate that the use of a controlled substance during the period of time that he possessed the gun. So we filed a motion to stop the defense team from arguing, suggesting that the government must show that he used the substance on the day of the purchase of the gun. So the defense is now trying to make it very narrow. No, it's like, he's like, you got to be smoking a crack pipe when you go into the gun store. And then they're like, okay, that's illegal. No, the government wants a much looser definition. If you had the gun and you did crack that month, that's like good enough for them. So where is it? Somewhere in the middle. Now, to meet the elements, the government will prove the following at trial. So now we know what the law is. What are they going to show? What are some of these facts? They say Hunter was a user of crack and he was a crack addict. Yeah, that's true. We're all pretty familiar with that. Hunter admitted he was a user of crack and was a crack addict in his book, Beautiful Things, which he began writing in November 2019. He published it in 2021, and he actually narrated the audiobook form. Oh my gosh, could you imagine listening to a full book by Hunter? He's got the weirdest voice ever. He sounds like an emasculated version of Joe, if that's possible. Anyways, specifically, Hunter admitted in his book, he says, I'm actively addicted to crack between 2015 and 2019, his own admission. He stated, by the time the plane touched down in Los Angeles in March 2019, this is Crackhead Hunter speaking, I had no plan beyond the moment-to-moment demands of the crack pipe. He described in relevant part that, quote, 4 years of active addiction preceded this trip to California. He admitted, I was a crack addict, and that was that. Now, as many of you know here, I do not consume alcohol. I had a problem with alcohol, so I do not drink anymore. So I understand addiction, and I understand recovery. It's something that I am actively in. I consider myself to be a recovered alcoholic. I have a men's group. We meet once a week. We met on Tuesday. It's a great group. And if you need assistance and you need a men's group, let me know. But part of being recovered and recovering in the process of recovering, at least according to the 12 steps that I have been taught, is you got to make amends. And you can't constantly make excuses for your poor behavior and blame everybody else for it and then continue that behavior indefinitely because it's part of your lifestyle. In other words, lifestyle addicts are not recovered people. And Hunter, as far as we can tell, is a lifestyle crackhead. There's still crackhead cocaine in the White House that nobody wants to pin on anybody. So I personally don't buy, as much as I do not want to judge another person's recovery, and that's a big no-no, and I don't really feel good about that, but this is political propaganda as far as we can tell here, until we see some active signs of recovery. But as far as we can tell, he is still blaming everybody else for this stuff. And I'm not saying that you have to accept all criminal charges if you're in recovery. That's not part of the solution either. But this is a pattern that he has been on his entire life. And I have some empathy for him, to be perfectly honest. He had to be raised by Joe. He's probably watching his dad shower with Ashley right in the next closet. We're all going, what the hell's going on in that household? So I do have some empathy for him, and I do wish him recovery, and I hope he does figure his life out and get it back together. And I mean that genuinely. But all of this and what this family has done, and then tell all of us that we're insane for questioning their criminality on the back of the American people, I'm not for that. We're not going to give him this, okay, you get a pass because you're a recovering addict. Get out of here. You are not. Thank you for that. So the government has identified excerpts from the book in which Hunter makes statements that evidence his addiction. These excerpts include his admissions during a less than 3-year period between 2016 and 2019, which is within the 4-year period he identified as being an active addict. As discussed in another filing, these book excerpts are authentic under the federal rules of evidence. They're relevant under the rules. They're not unfairly prejudicial. They're his admissions. They're admissible under the rules. So the excerpts include portions of Chapter 9. He also wrote in there, California Odyssey, in which Hunter describes his drug use and addiction in the spring of 2018. He said, while in California, Hunter wrote, he said, I use my superpower, finding crack anytime, anywhere. And I described himself as, quote, someone who's up 24 hours a day, smoking every 15 minutes, 7 days a week. The California Odyssey ended up with a visit from his uncle, who helped him check into rehab at a center in Brentwood, California, where he says, where I stayed clean for about 2 weeks. It was great. The beauty, the peace, the support, right up until the moment I relapsed. And if you remember, back during his plea deal, his own defense team wouldn't even tell us how many times he's been in rehab. They just said, basically too many to count. They wouldn't even put a number on it. They basically just move him from rehab to rehab. Now, the defendant, Hunter, received invoices from The View, a luxury rehab center in Brentwood, California, for DTX detox stabilization from August 21st, 2018 to August 27, 2018. So he was there for 6 days. Now, the government obtained these invoices when they searched his iCloud email account. They got a search warrant and rummaged through that. But in his next chapter, Hunter, the smartest man Joe Biden knows, wrote this in his book. He says, my penultimate odyssey through full-blown addiction became a shabbier, gloomier, more solitary version of the chromatic tear I went on through Southern California. I came back east. The trees soon were bare, and the low slate sky seemed to hover inches above my head. In my mind's eye, I can't picture a single day during my months back there that wasn't gray and overcast, a fitting, ominous backdrop. This is the most pretentious garbage I've ever read. He clearly didn't write this, but whoever did is obnoxious. I had returned that fall after my most recent relapse in California with the hope of getting clean through a new therapy and reconciling with Hallie. Neither happened because he's on crack again. For all the obvious reasons, my extended disappearances, my inability to stay sober, her need to stabilize and reorder her own life and family, Hallie and I called it quits. Now, at the trial, the government will prove that Hunter returned to Delaware on October 6, and we're going to introduce the following evidence. He returned from LA on Alaska Air, landed the morning of October 6, 2018 in Philadelphia. Hunter's messages, identified in the summary chart, which we'll look through, is attached. These include various messages. For example, a message on October 8, 2018, in which Hunter says, I'm in Delaware on October 8th. I will be here for at least a week. October 13th, Hunter says, he's in Newcastle. And then on the 13th, he says, I'm now off MD Avenue behind Blue Rock Stadium waiting for a dealer named Mookie. So Hunter's buying crack on the side of the street. Yeah. He says, October 14th, Hunter says, I was sleeping on a car smoking crack on 4th Street in Rodney. These are all text messages. Okay. Now, there is also location data embedded in the photographs and Hunter's phone, which were backed up to his laptop, which puts him in Delaware on October 16th, 22nd, 24th, 27th, and 28th. Testimony of witness number 3, who we'll see who that is, who will confirm that Hunter returned in October of 2018. Now, bank statements obtained for Hunter's bank account show that he also withdrew a bunch of money from the ATMs during the month of October 2018. And in his book, Hunter describes that he had a short stint at a therapist-run wellness center in Massachusetts, where Hunter says he sought drug addiction therapy. According to his bank records, he began withdrawing cash in Newburyport in November. Hunter then returned to Delaware, where he continued to use crack. It was me and a crack pipe and a Super 8, not knowing which the F way was up. All my energy revolved around smoking drugs and make arrangements to buy drugs, feeding the beast. His crack use continued through at least when he describes a trip to LA in March 2019. He had no plan, he says, beyond moment-to-moment demands of the crack pipe. Hunter further stated that during the nearly 4 years of active addiction that preceded this trip to California, which included a half dozen rehab attempts, That's what I told myself after each failure. He stated, I was a crack addict, and that was it. F it. Describing a call to a drug connection for crack. Hunter stated, everything that followed my return to LA was a genuine dictionary definition blur of complete and utter debauchery. I was doing nothing but drinking and drugging. In addition to Hunter's book and audiobook admissions that he did all of this, he said, I had nearly 4 years of active addiction. Now, the government is also going to present the following witnesses. Oh, this is going to be juicy. Testimony from Witness 1. Witness 1 was previously married to Hunter. Oh, no, the ex-wife. Ugh. They divorced in April 2017, but through 2018, she would check his vehicle from time to time because she did not want their children in a vehicle with drugs. Yeah, that's called aggravated DUI. Kids in the car, not good. While searching his vehicles, she found drugs or paraphernalia on approximately a dozen occasions. Good thing she checked. She doesn't want her kids with a crackhead or anything. Wow, good thing she took care of that one. Which she discarded into a trash can. She's corroborated by a text message exchange with Hunter in which she tells him on March 9th, hey, Hunter, it's your wife. I also found a few crack pipes in your car. I took them out because our daughter was driving the car. Driving around with crack residue. It's not good for you. The ex-wife ceased using her former cell phone number ending in 2473, and Hunter began using it thereafter, which the government will show he used to communicate with another witness, Witness 3. Now, we also have another woman. Witness 2 was previously in a romantic relationship with Hunter for about a year, December 2017 to 2018. And during the course of their relationship, witness number 2 observed the defendant using crack cocaine frequently, every 20 minutes except when he slept. That dude is like really broken. Witness number 2 visited the defendant in Massachusetts when he was in rehab in the fall of 2018 after his gun possession, and over the course of 3 days, she observed Hunter smoking crack cocaine every 20 minutes. Witness 3, and the Biden family enabled this for how many years? And I also got to say, I think the Biden family exploited him, right? He was just the bag man running around. James Biden was like, hey man, as long as he's plied with crack, who cares? Send him over to Burisma. Hunter was doing deals for Joe. Nobody cared because they were just exploiting him. Witness 3 was also in a romantic relationship with Hunter after Witness 2. Witness 3 also observed the defendant using drugs on multiple occasions. When he stayed at her home in the fall of 2018, Witness 3 and her children searched his bags, backpacks, and vehicle. They tried to get him sober and discovered drug paraphernalia and drug in his possessions on multiple occasions. Witness 3 also observed Hunter frequently lost phones and changed phones, which explains the gaps in time where there were no messages. She also had various text message exchanges with Hunter, including those listed in Exhibit 2. Now, in addition to the messages with Witness 3, this chart also includes messages between Hunter and other individuals. We'll see some of his crack messages. These messages includes conversation about his drug use and addiction. Where Hunter used coded languages in message is, the government intends to qualify another expert. They're going to bring this guy called Special Agent Joshua Romig here, US DEA. He's going to opine on the coded terms and drug language found in those messages, such as baby powder, party favor, 10 grams, give me a chore boy, give me one full, get me a fentanyl, give me a ball, and all the other Hunter crack terms and other specific terms identified in the disclosure. Now, they also have photos. Government also intends to show videos and photographs of Hunter smoking crack. Oh, or yeah, we've seen them. They're in the book at MarcoPoloUSA.org. If you want to check it out, get your copy, get one for your friends, or of crack or drug paraphernalia in videos, photos backed up on his iCloud account. You know, like the easiest case ever. It's like, Hunter, is that you? Yeah. Is that Hunter Biden? Yeah. Is he smoking crack right now? Yeah, looks like it. Exhibit 2 includes 6 videos or photos. The government does not anticipate showing more than those 6. All you need. Now, we also got a problem because cocaine was on Hunter's brown leather pouch. It's true. A brown leather pouch was also discovered with Hunter's revolver by a man collecting recyclables and these items. So how'd the gun end up in a recycle bin? As well as others that Hunter had purchased, they were later turned over to Delaware State Police Lieutenant Greer. Lieutenant Greer took these items, sealed and logged them as evidence into the Delaware State Police vault, where they remained until 2023. Now, in preparation for an indictment in this case, the evidence, which was the gun and the leather pouch, the FBI pulled the sealed evidence from the state police evidence. And I know what you're thinking. Did they throw it in the incinerator? No, it turns out they observed a white powdery substance on there. And the white powdery substance was actually analyzed. FBI Jason Brewer did, who will be qualified as an expert to say it's cocaine. Big surprise. Cocaine, like the same kind they found in the White House? Now, Hunter also knew he was an addict, and he knew he was a user of crack. His book is replete with admissions that establish he was an addict. He's probably unhappy he wrote that book. Part of the reason you write books like that is to get ahead of it. You dump it all out there, and then you hope that there's not going to be repercussions because you kind of aired out your dirty laundry, backfiring big time. He should have taken the deal. He didn't do that, so here we are. His book is replete with admissions saying he knew he was using crack and crack cocaine, including when he purchased and possessed the gun in October 2018. For example, regarding his return to Delaware, Hunter admitted, he said, "I came back to Delaware October 2018. I had returned that fall after my most recent relapse in California with the hope of getting clean through new therapy and reconciling with Hallie, but neither happened." Now, Hunter then made statements to witnesses 1, 2, and 3, the women, that show he knew he was a crack user and a crack addict prior to purchasing the gun and during his possession of the gun. So they're going to bring in all the X's. And moreover, his actions were consistent with someone who was aware that they knew they were addicted to crack and a user of crack. For example, in 2018, he checked himself into rehab to try to get sober. So he knew. Messages identified in the summary chart show that Hunter knew he was a crack user and an addict. He's got a bunch of text messages. We'll read through some of them. Hunter's messages between April 2018 and August 2018, as identified, show that he routinely purchased and used crack cocaine. When he possessed the gun on October 14th, he told witness 3, "I was sleeping on a car smoking crack." She said back to him, "I just want to help you get sober. Nothing I do or you do is working. I'm sorry." And then he responds and says, "What one thing have you done to help me get sober?" Man, it sounds like an addict. On the day his gun was taken from him, Hunter stated to witness 3, "Who in their right mind would trust you to help me get sober?" See, Hunter doesn't want it. That's the problem. You got to really be down on both knees. You really got to be at rock bottom. You can't, no one else is going to pull you out of it. You have to want to dig yourself out, pull yourself up out of it. And you do that. In my experience, I did it through the 12 steps. He says on November 3rd, 2018, in a message to witness 3, Hunter stated, "I'm a liar and a thief and a blamer." That's true. "And a user, and I'm delusional and an addict, unlike beyond and above all other addicts that you know, and I've ruined every relationship I've ever cherished." He said in November, Hunter messaged another woman, and then he stated, "I'm a effing better man than any man you know, whether I'm smoking crack or not." Wow, Hunter, wow. Even crackhead Hunter. On this same day, Hunter messaged witness 3 and stated, "What's the worst place for me to be trying to stay clean? Delaware." And there he was in Delaware buying guns. In December 2018, Hunter exchanged multiple messages with witness 3, where he recognized that he was an addict. He needed to get sober. On December 18th, the defendant texted another woman stating, "I'm insane. I'm an addict, and I'll obsess over it." On December 28th, the woman asked him back, "Why can't you admit you are unhappy, in the throes of addiction, and need help coupled with love?" Hunter responded, "I'll admit it completely." He later said, "I'll effing get sober when I want to get effing sober." Yeah, that's true. That's right. That's right. Absolutely right. Messages and videos show that Hunter continued using crack in December 2018, January 2019, February 2019, March 2019. At present, the government has not included relevant messages with certain family members, I wonder, like Hunter or like Joe or Mama. which is weird because, they went and they took pictures of Barron's bedroom when they said that Trump committed a crime. Trump got his room photographed. Melania had her bedroom rummaged through. They went through her drawers. So I wonder if they did the same thing when they were investigating Hunter, or if all of that is going to be kept under lock and key. The right to use such evidence may do so if the defense advances a theory. They say, in sum, Hunter's conduct and his admissions evidence his knowledge. He was a user of crack at the time he purchased the gun, while he purchased the gun, and before it was taken from him. His conduct and admissions also evidence his knowledge that he was a crack addict in 2018, and he possessed it. And so all of this was material. They're going to bring in someone from the gun store, StarQuest Shooters. On October 12th, he entered their business, purchased a gun. He got a Colt Cobra 38 Special. He got an HKS speed loader for the 38 Special, which, as the name suggests, allows you to rapidly reload it. He got 25 rounds of Hornady American gunner ammunition. Now, when purchasing a gun, a purchaser is required to fill out ATF Form 4473. Hunter completed the form, filling out basic information, put his name, height, weight, birth date, social security number, but when asked whether he was an unlawful user of or addicted to any depressant, stimulant, narcotic drug, or any other controlled substance, he lied. He answered no. Had he answered yes, the gun seller would not and could not have sold him a gun. After answering additional questions, he certified my answers are true, correct, and complete. Sign the form. Many of you have signed it. Specifically, the defendant acknowledges that he could not receive a gun if the answer had been yes. He signed and dated the form, acknowledging it. He presented his passport showing his photograph, which they then scanned when it initiated a background check, and certified copy of that will be used at trial. Oops. Witness 3 will also establish that Hunter possessed the gun and she discarded it in the outdoor trash receptacle. So Witness 3 was the woman who threw it out at the Jansen Market in Wilmington after taking it from Hunter's vehicle. What's this gun doing here? Let me just throw it in a trash can outside a market. Witnesses will be called who will discuss law enforcement recovery of that gun from a man who is collecting recyclables, like no one goes through the trash. And the gun and other evidence purchased by the defendant will be introduced. So for Hunter's own words, they established his knowing possession of the gun. For example, after Witness 3 took the firearm from Hunter's vehicle on October 23rd, Hunter messaged her and stated, "Did you take that from me? Are you insane? Tell me now. This is no game. Where's my gun?" Later that evening, after he interacted with the police, he stated, "The effing FBI. It's hard to believe anyone is that stupid. So what's my fault here that you speak of? Owning a gun that's in a locked car hidden on another property?" He's screaming at her. "You say I invade your privacy. What more can I do than come back to you and try again? And you do this? Who in their right mind would trust you would help me get sober?" Finally, at trial, they say this is going to be not good. The government will admit statements made by Hunter to the police. He talked to them. He admitted he purchased the gun. He admitted he possessed the gun. That's why you don't talk to the cops. He stated he purchased the handgun at StarQuest. He also turned over the gun's case to the police. Here's the other half of it. To establish, and it worked out well for him, honestly. Nothing happened to him at all until he started to throw a hissy fit and backed out of his plea. But witnesses are going to come forward. FBI Special Agent Erica Jansen will introduce Hunter's messages and Hunter's admissions in his audiobook. Witnesses 1, 2, and 3 will come out. StarQuest Shooters will be here. Delaware State Police are going to talk about his admissions and what he told the cops. This lieutenant is going to testify about the recovery of the gun, the ammunition, the brown leather pouch filled with cocaine. Forensic chemist is going to opine about the residue. It was, in fact, cocaine. DEA is coming in to talk about coded messages sent by Hunter that we'll look through in a minute. And the government anticipates other witnesses that may come out during the case in chief and for rebuttal. And so, in conclusion, sounds like a pretty dang solid case there, Hunter, since you wrote a book about it and your pictures are all over the internet. This trial brief is submitted as an aid to the court in advance of all of this. And so Hunter's team is looking at this going, his lawyers are like, "Ugh, dang it." That's not good for us. They reserved the right to modify this. Derek Hines is the senior assistant special counsel who is the person who drafted this document. Now, here are some of the text messages that were attached. So let's go through some of these. There's 75 pages of them, so we don't need to hit them all, but you can see a little bit about what they were talking about inside. So Hunter sends this text messages. Okay, so this column is from Hunter, and this is to Hunter. So, yes, buddy, yes, I'm asking you to tell me, in light of the fact that you can't come this minute, when you can come. This guy says by 7:30. If you be here by 6:45, I can do another 1.4 on top of what you owe. Been on the freeway for 20 minutes. I knew I should have waited. Crap, now I'm stuck in traffic, bro, with all your stuff. Wonder what he's bringing him. Hunter, where are you, man? I need my crack. He says, I'm on the freeway. Almost there. I'll be there in 6 minutes. Hunter, where are you at? Where are you at? Hunter says, I'm here. Where do I go to bring your crack? Hunter says, same place. Yes. Question. Okay. When? 4 minutes. Right, here's another buy. Oh, man, there's traffic on Sunset. I'm pulling up. Hunter, he says to Hunter, come out. Oh, there's crack. Right there. Right on our screen. Isn't that just great? All right, so we got crack all over the place here. We got another crackhead here. Crack scale from Crackhead Hunter. I guess they're weighing it so that they can conduct payment appropriately. Ah, gosh. So he says, bro, what's up? So they're sending some more messages, and here's what these look like. Bro, what's up? He says. Missed voice call. Hey, come get how much I owe. He says, tell me ETA, please. I need my crack right now. It's like DoorDash. He says, can you get baby powder for my bum? Get the really soft stuff for my bum. He says, yeah, I got it. I got that soft stuff. But I'm at a hospital. Can you meet up here? I got pills too. What favor you need? Hunter says, I need party favor. Oh, tomorrow. I'll get you that. Now. I need it now. Okay, I have a guy. I can give you his phone number, but he can only bring 5 at the time for $100 a pill. I can give you his phone number. You want it? Yes, please. Okay. Here's the number. 14 away. This is so-and-so. I'll text 5 when 5 away so we can meet on DeLong Prairie just south of you. 10 minutes away, 7 minutes away, missed voice call. Where you at? 2 to 3 away, black Jeep about to pull up. Someone says, bro, I'm waiting on the dude to bring your crap. He said it's 30 minutes out. Hunter says, K, ETA. He says, white boy bringing it to you. This guy. He just picked your stuff up. He's going to call you right now. Hunter says, hey, crack delivery guy. What's up, buddy? Where are you? Crackhead says, what's up, bro? I'm in Carson, crack dealer. They have a video call. You want me to drop your crack off? Send me the address. I'll do it. I just picked your stuff up, bro. What's the address? Hey, you coming this way, says Hunter. ASAP if you can. I need it. Bro, I got it. Where do I drop it, bro? I picked up your stuff in hold until you call for it, bro. I got it. Can you come this way now? He says, yeah, I'm heading your way. Hey, you coming? Hunter says, send the white boy if it's faster. I guess it depends how he's coming. I don't know what route he's taking. Dude, Hunter says, where's my crack? He says, okay, sorry. I got the white boy. I'm sending him now. Hey, I just got the app. You want 10 grams? Question mark. Hunter says, why? Sorry, phone died. He said $600. Is that cool? Hunter says, yeah, okay, no problem. Send me your address. He's actually down to meet you. Here's his number. It's 8201. You're welcome, LOL. Enjoy. So this is a message to Hunter. It says, Z baby, I'm so sorry. Listen, I'm not trying to take advantage of you, but I spent all the money that you got me on black. I really needed it. Also went to Walmart, bought some things, but I wasn't able to get a pipe anywhere. Is there anything else I can get? A Brillo pad? I will do what I can, babe. I'll spend the entire night with you if you want, but will you please pay me more money? Please don't think I'm taking advantage. And if you say no, I'll still come over. I like you a lot, Hunter, and I really understand you, and I see you in a way I feel that others don't. You're an amazing person inside. You have a beautiful heart. So, of course, we know what type of conversation that is. Says, well, Hunter says back to someone else, I need more chore boy, but regardless, come back and yes. I need more chore boy, which is a drug. Come back and yes. Hunter says, I'm in Delaware. I will be here for at least a week. I still don't have a separate account unless you did that, and I didn't hear from you. Also need a P.O. box, I think near Chateau. I'd like you to price out storage lockers from a big enough for a car as small as to a walk-in closet. This person says, I'm using this other until my phone, Hunter, I'm using this phone until my other phone arrives in the mail. Okay, so it was another message, 3774. That freaked me out. This blank, and I'm going to beat you up, says Hunter. Response, hello? Response, hi, are you on the way home? Call me, please. Hunter says something 5. Message back, yeah, okay, where are you? Truthfully, where are you? Hunter says, bye. I guess, LNG, hold. Bye, I guess, LNG and hold. Where are you? Where? I'm home. In Delaware or DC? Hunter says Newcastle, Delaware. Okay, please be safe, my love. I just want you safe. Hunter says, do you want to go to the patio? Yes or no? She says, sure, what time? Trying to find out how long they will be there. Response, what do you think? What do you think? Do you want to go? I'll do whatever you want. Love you. Question mark. Hunter says, I'll be home in an hour. You okay? We staying home? Why won't you answer my calls? Where are you? Are you with someone? No, cracked out probably. Or maybe with someone too. He says, yes, blank hangs out at 7-Eleven, Ion, Green Hill, and Lancaster. I'm now off Maryland Avenue behind Blue Rock Stadium, waiting for a dealer named blank. His brother L is getting in the car now. He has my money, and now I'm getting pissed, says Hunter. This woman responds to him, I called you 500 times in the past 24 hours, and you no answer. Practice what you preach. He says, I was sleeping on a car smoking crack on 4th Street in Rodney, okay? I couldn't call you back. Where were you? Hunter said, there's my truth. Where were you? I just want to help you get sober, Hunter. Nothing I do or you do is working. I'm sorry. I'm afraid you're going to die, and I can't live without you. What one thing have you done to help me get sober, witness? Hunter says, I'm almost there. I'm here and I can't get in. And we've got some more photos. Let me just do a little recap on this here just to make sure that we don't have any Hunter. What kind of Hunter photos? All right, we're going to have to be a little bit careful on what's coming up. All right, so let's see where we're at. All right. So now we are here. I'm here and I can't get in. And now there's this image of a back seat of a car. This is from Richie Jones to Hunter Biden. It says, hey buddy, it's blank. Just checking in again. I'm thinking about you. Give me a call if you feel like it. Hunter responds, thanks man. How you holding up? I'm in Delaware last few weeks, headed up to New York for the next few. Call and text. Let me know a good time to catch up. And apparently there's a photo that's sent right from the dash of a car. Did you take that from me? Okay, so Hunter sends this to Richie, and then this is a location of a photo. Somebody takes this photo. This is interesting. Hunter says this. Did you take that from me? Blank. Okay. Are you insane? So the gun's now gone. Tell me now. This is no game, and you're being totally irresponsible and unhinged. Hunter says to her, tell me now. He just found out the gun's gone. Not good. He's not happy about that. He says, you really need to help me think right now. This is very, very serious, Hunter rants. She says, call me. Then she drops a response back. Hunter, I can't believe this. You can blame me all you want. I know it was stupid. Throwing it away, they call. But your part is dangerous and negligent. And because of this and my stupidity for being worried about you, I'm dealing with insanity. And possibly I'm the one that's going to get in trouble for throwing your gun away. Check yourself into a local rehab, Hunter. This all has got to stop. Don't run away again. Please don't leave. Police are coming to talk to me now. I'll take full blame. I don't want to live like this anymore. This is too much for me to handle. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, addiction is a very sad thing. And of course, he's in the throes of it. So he sends a response back. And there's this big redacted paragraph. It says, the effing FBI name the effing FBI. It's hard to believe anyone is that stupid. So what's my fault here, Hallie, that you speak of? Owning a gun that's in a locked car hidden on another property? You say I invade your privacy. What more can I do than come back to try again? And you do this? Who in their right mind would trust you to help me get sober? Hunter says to her, you want me dead? She says, I'm sorry. I just want you safe. And that gun was not safe. Says, and it was open, unlocked, and the windows down, and the kids search your car. So they would have seen it too. Now here is one. They respond to Hunter. She says, you have lost your mind, Hunter. I'm sorry I handled it poorly today, but you're in huge denial about yourself and about that reality that I just want you safe. You run away like a child and blame me for your crap. It's to be expected that you prove repeatedly that you can't stay and you really do work on yourself. It's easier for you to avoid looking within, and it's cowardly to constantly point the blame on me. Yeah. Take some time. Now here, Hunter says, I'm a liar and a thief and a blamer and a user, and I'm delusional and an addict, unlike beyond and above all other addicts that you know, and I've ruined every relationship I've ever cherished. So he's, coming down. She says, okay, let's do this right. Come home and talk with the kids. Let's tell your family and your kids the plan and let's stick to it. Everyone adores you and wants to feel like you're safe working on sobriety. We can do this. Then I'll do therapy with you while you are there. We can talk about everything you want once you are there. Says, you're blaming me again? She responds to him. And for what? Do you know how and what your addiction has done to us all? When you humbly realize how much damage you cause, humility is a big part of it, then all know you are ready to get sober. Blaming me, that is an excuse to avoid sobriety. If you want us, our love, our support, my help, then shut up and come home and we can get you there. He says, no, I'm not blaming you. No blame regarding sobriety. She says, you are the one not sober and it's brutally affecting all of us. He says, I'm a drunk. A lot more than that. So then they send some other emails and text messages. He says, I'm an addict. Do you want your crack back, person? She says, I can't take it anymore. She says, you want me to relapse? And he says, for a long time. She says, focus on yourself and getting sober, not on me. Hunter responds, and do you really care that little about me that you say stuff like, good to know you're alive? That's how little you care. Hope you did kill yourself. Why do you get to be so mean, blank? What did I ever do to you but tell you how beautiful and smart you are? You want me to be so callous with you, blank, because I can be mean when it really matters. I thought you were someone special, blank, and I don't mind the way you took advantage of me. You did it with finesse, but I was surprised to see you act so petty and small. That's not the woman I thought you were. I know I have my flaws, but I'm proud of who I am. Flaws and all, and I was surprised to be so wrong about someone I thought had become a friend. You tell all these girls you introduced to me that I'm a crackhead loser. What the F? I'm a effing better man than any man you know, whether I'm smoking crack or not. She says, well, that's all very true. The part where you said I tell all these girls you're a crackhead loser, I never called you a loser. Crackhead, yeah, but I never called you a loser. I obviously have to heads up on the crack thing, but in no way are you a loser. No, you're just a crackhead. But a very nice, high-performing crackhead who's not a loser at all. I was upset, she says. I was mean because I was betrayed by the both of you. I went into defense mode. And I'm sorry for being hurtful. So that's the blank I know, he says. Hunter responds, mother effing mother effer. What's the worst place for me to be trying to stay clean, he says. Delaware. I tell everyone to come here to a beautiful house on the beach with a cool town, with the same shops as Nantucket, and I can continue my treatment. And what do all you effers decide? You're so effing helpful, blank. Hey, we spoke through blank week before Thanksgiving, met your cousin, can we arrange to do the exact same thing tonight? What? Hey, we spoke through blank week before Thanksgiving. Met your cousin. Can we arrange to do the same thing tonight? He says, Rob, what? This person responds, I guess Rob, not me, I swear, it wasn't me. What do you need? He says, it might be around 8 or 9. Hunter says, okay. Ounce. Okay, ounce is going to be $14.50 instead of the 16. When will you be ready, though? Hunter says, send me a general address to put in the GPS. Hunter then questions the ounce. Ounce? He says, yeah, and it's 17G, pure. Give him 1,100. You'll be happy. Someone says to Hunter, I hope things are well with your book. Truly, I do. I'm staying away from you because you are not sober, someone writes to him. Not because I don't love you. But at some point, if you don't go away to get the help you need, things between us will inevitably change. Says, I promise when you are sober, we will be a team again, but I cannot be with you until you are sober. He says, you'll be there, you say, when I'm healthy and I don't really need anyone. He says, the drug problem, and I need to know my partner isn't going to abandon me at every problem. She says, I'm not doing this. You have to get sober for your 5 kids and me, bottom line, or you lose everyone slowly. Not until you get sober. Says, any excuse to not get sober, you have. He says, but when it's tough times, I'm out. She says, I need you sober. He says, I need you to be here for me. To get sober. She says, I've tried so many times. You have to go to a facility. He says, blank, that's so untrue. You haven't helped. He sends another message. Hey, wondering if you're around to someone else. This person says, who is this? He says, we met at the gas station. I have the big truck, the Raptor. The Raptor. You remember me. He said, you had the Mini. He said, you helped your buddy out hooking me up. He's finding crackheads at the gas stations now. He says, what's up? Any chance you can help me out? Says Hunter. Same. He says, but you have anyone who can meet me halfway in Boston? I'll pay well for anyone who can bring me here in 20 minutes north of Boston. He says, no, I can't make that trip to Boston. LOL. Who do you think you are? He says, you got to come out here, man. Because I'm insane and an addict, and I'll obsess over it if you don't. All right, you saw that photo pop up, maybe a little bit nervous there, but it's only just a slight crackhead. It's only a slight crack photo. It's only a slight Hunter photo. All right. So you see, someone sends a message to Hunter. Why can't you admit you are unhappy, Hunter, in the throes of addiction and need help coupled with love? He says, I admit it completely. Says, I blame her for being selfish and self-righteous, hypocritical C-word. Whoa. That actually truly works against my getting sober. So again, he's like blaming everybody else for this. He says, I'll get effing sober when I want to get effing sober. And here's another crackhead scale photo all over the place. And yeah, we'll fast forward through that photo for sure. Anyways, these PDFs will be on the website, robertgovea.com later. We got Hunter who says, something, something, something. That's a line brighter than throwing my gun in a full trash can in a busy grocery store. And then some kid blows his sister's head off and you go to prison for the rest of your life. That's one thing that might happen. Okay, we got some more crackhead photos over there. And we'll skip those. Here's another one. Hunter says, I'll let you know when he calls me back. What am I doing, buddy? Head to province or it might not. Somebody says to Hunter, you got it? And let's see. We got some more text messages and then we'll wrap it up. Here's Hunter sending. He says, he around if I get the usual takeout order? Buddy, you understand my question, says Hunter. He around if I get the usual takeout order? You understand, buddy? He says, one full. He says, how long till you get here? 1 hour, 30 minutes tops. What am I sending you? Says Hunter. He says, 15. rather sooner so I can make sure it works. Let me know when you're 30 minutes away. I'm outside 25 minutes away. 184 Preston. He says, send Venmo now to eliminate the confusion. Hunter says, I'm calling. Okay. 5 minutes out. Can you send so I can pay him? Can you send so I can pay him? Let me know as soon as you handle it. So they're Venmoing their drugs now. And Hunter says, well, just tell him you want to try it. It's supposed to be 31. Hunter says, just tell him you want to try it. He says, it's supposed to be 31 and barely registers anything. S the chart, hard to believe, says Hunter. Says, this is complete BS. I don't like doing these things when I'm not in town. I have to be there to oversee this stuff because everyone's trying to get over. I'll get you 200 back for sure, coming out of my own pocket. Bring it tomorrow. He's sleeping. And now they're talking about more drugs. Hunter says, and he's not someone I can keep waiting, bro. I told him I'd test it. I told him don't bring it. It's not 2. And I told him I'd have to eat this if it wasn't. He says, what the duck, man? It's not even 5%. He says, this is weird. What's going around right now? It's never 5%. Hunter says, maybe he didn't know what he was getting. He says, I'll do the test again in front of him. I'll just show him. There's no drugs in here. He just called. He didn't pick it up. He just called him. He didn't pick up. But what about the weight? He says, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. That's what I'm confused about too. He says, let me know, buddy. Maybe he grabbed the wrong bag of crack. I know you can't make promises from 2,500 miles away. Hunter says, I'll arrange you to bring it back tomorrow. I think it may be fentanyl and mix. Hunter says, whoa, seriously? You're giving me fentanyl and mix? Trying to kill me? Or something? And they say fentanyl will kill people. Hunter says, yeah, I heard about it. It doesn't even show as one of the Colts on that chart, man, says Hunter. This guy says, I don't think that's it. Hunter says the little piece tested here was at least medium yellow, but it didn't come from the bag he gave me. Hunter says, no more texts, okay? How much you was wanting? Hunter says, 400 worth. Okay, send me the address. Comfort Inn, Nantucket. This guy says, okay, I'll be there soon. He wants to know if you can come here. I have a ball on me. Hunter responds to him, dude, did you just scam me? Hunter got scammed for his crack. It feels like it. He says, no way, dude. How do you feel like that? I sold a 30 just now. You gave me 200. That's what I bought you the first time. The second time I sold and brought you 60. Dude, I like you. I won't scam you, says this guy. That's the crackhead Biden household. So that's the evidence that's going to be on there. And you can see all those text messages seem like they are a little bit incriminating because he's buying drugs multiple times. So he should have taken the plea deal. This whole thing would have been done. He wouldn't have had either one of these trials taking place. But of course, he is the smartest man Joe knows, and he's not wrong about anything he's ever done ever. And in fact, other people are responsible for his own sobriety and well-being. And if they actually are actively urging him to get sober, he still blames them and castigates them for their assistance. So he's a real piece of work, this guy. And he's got trial coming up in June and September as it stands right now. And so we're going to be here continuing to cover this. We'll be very curious if these trials actually happen. We hope you join us as we do. Thank you for subscribing to our channel, my friends. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for inviting a friend or family member to come on over here and join us. And we'll see you back here on the next one. All right, we got one segment left that's largely similar in vein, talking about the Biden crime family. But this one is also interesting. Hunter Biden in a little bit of hot water. He has no more money because his sugar daddy, who was paying for his legal bills, kind of running out of gas. And there's a curious connection here because a new affidavit from the IRS whistleblower called Gary Shapley is saying that maybe the CIA was putting pressure on the DOJ to not investigate this guy, Kevin Morris, who is the sugar daddy for Hunter Biden. CIA may want Hunter to get the money and the defense funding for reasons. Why might that be? Let's see what the story says. Funding might be coming to an end. Politico reported on this one. And by way of background, before we get into this new affidavit, we got to know what's going on with this guy. Hunter Biden's legal defense has a problem. Kevin Morris not paying the bills. Turns out less than a month before the start of his first trial, Hunter may be losing a key financial lifeline. He's a Hollywood entertainment lawyer called Kevin Morris, long supported the president's son, has told associates he's run out of resources to fund the defense. The reason he got involved in the first place is because he wanted to help Hunter. And maybe because his daddy's the president. He really wanted to help him because no one was helping him. But now 4.5 years later, and when Joe's not going to maybe win the presidency again, he is feeling a little tapped out. Reach for comment about this reporting. Kevin Morris confirmed the person's account, but declined to comment further. And a spokesperson for Biden's legal team also declined to comment. This guy's been playing a major role in paying the bills. The fact that he can no longer do this is going to cause Joe Biden a problem. Now, he faces financial constraints. There's going to be a huge problem. There are concerns about how Hunter is going to pay for all of this stuff. Maybe Joe will do it. But apparently this guy has given Hunter more than $6.5 million. Now, did that come lovingly from Kevin Morris, or was this government money funneled through some CIA operation? At a pretrial hearing, the lead attorney signaled that they need more time for preparation. And of course, the judge has given them some of that in the tax case. But this is now a new drop. You remember Gary Shapley and our friend Jason Foster. They came out. They are with the Empower Oversight Committee. He's the founder over there, and they do some great work on this stuff. But he posted this. He says, listen, this comes from IRS Special Agent Shapley, a newly released affidavit saying that the CIA was involved with Morris, that the CIA summoned prosecutors to Langley for a classified briefing on Kevin Morris, Hunter Biden's sugar daddy and balcony bong lawyer. Now, after that, nothing further from the DOJ. They just called a lid on it. So here is what the affidavit says from our friend Gary Shapley. He writes, I, Gary Shapley, hereby provide the following statement. Since April 2018, I've been a special super agent, supervisory agent, and a super agent at that too. An IRS criminal investigation over with the U.S. Department of Treasury. He says, in that role, I supervised line agents in carrying out the investigation of Hunter. And that began January 2020. Another part of the rigged election. The DOJ back then covered up the entire investigation until the election was over and their guy so-called won. So Shapley was part of the investigatory team. He says, I continued in that role until I was removed from the investigation by the DOJ in May 2023. Why? Because he provided protected disclosures. He blew the whistle about how the government DOJ, Biden's DOJ, mishandled the investigation of Hunter the son. There were conflicts of interest that popped out. There were preferential treatments that were given out, deviations from normal investigative procedures, conflict information that was provided to the Attorney General, to Congress, all related to the independence of the U.S. Attorney for Delaware. Shapley says, in and around August of 2021, discussions were ongoing within the prosecution team on the Hunter investigation. We were asking ourselves, what witnesses do we need to interview to get this job done? During a prosecution team conference call that was on the calendar recurring all the time, sometime around August 2021, on this phone call, Assistant U.S. Attorney Lesley Wolfe, who keeps popping up every time we have a Biden investigation, she told the team that Shapley was on the call with that she and the DOJ tax attorney called Jack Morgan had recently returned from the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, where they had been summoned to talk about Kevin Morris. That doesn't fit. Prosecutor Wolfe stated that they were provided a classified briefing in relation to Mr. Morris, and as a result, we could no longer pursue him as a witness. Why would the CIA stop the DOJ from doing their job? Investigators probed Assistant Attorney Wolfe, but since her briefing was classified, she was apparently sanitizing it to an unclassified form to share over an open phone line. She did not elaborate with more information. She reiterated more than once, that they were summoned to the CIA in Langley talking about Mr. Morris, and that because of the information provided there, he could not be a witness for the investigation. Who is running the country? The CIA gets to decide what a prosecutor does. They get to decide what justice is done. Prosecutor Wolfe proudly referenced a CIA mug and stated that she purchased some CIA swag at the gift shop while she was there. She's just so excited. I got to talk to the CIA. Because prosecutors are mostly, I can't paint with broad strokes, but we'll do it here. Unhappy, kind of miserable people. So this was a big, exciting moment in her life. I'll just be nice. We'll just leave it there. She got a coffee mug. It's a CIA mug. She's like, wow. Called her mom. So it's unclear how, because she's a prosecutor, and that's a really exciting thing. So it's unclear how the CIA became aware that Mr. Morris was a potential witness. How did they even know in the Hunter Biden investigation, and why agents were not told about the meeting in advance, why we weren't invited to participate. It is a deviation of normal investigative processes for prosecutors to exclude investigators from substantive meetings like this. Now, in August, I emailed, says Gary Shapley, Prosecutor Wolfe to request a classified briefing on the information that the CIA had provided concerning Mr. Morris. The email stated, "Can you give me a call when you have a minute? I'm looking to set up a time to talk with you in a secure location to get an update on one of the witnesses. My clear redacted is T redacted S redacted." Now, I'm sure you understand that I have to, at a minimum, understand the issue at hand. He says, I can come to Delaware. I can come to Baltimore. I can go to Delaware. Joe Gordon offered to facilitate whatever's most convenient. So Shapley emails Wolfe, and let's see what happens. Wolfe initially solicited attorney Matthew McKenzie to assist with setting up the meeting. Now, she's like, I better get a lawyer in here. So I don't recall whether it was on the telephone or another means, but McKenzie then referenced a clearance level of TS-HCSO as a compartmentalized section required to receive the briefing. It is believed that the HCSO compartment is a CIA-specific sensitive compartment that was unlikely to have been obtained by DOJ tax attorney Morgan or prosecutor Wolfe. It's possible this was simply another roadblock placed in front of investigators to continue to deny investigators access to all of the relevant information. Now, although prosecutor Wolfe initially appeared to be receptive to facilitating a briefing for me on the information, she then ignored multiple attempts by me to arrange the briefing. Since obtaining this briefing was out of my control, eventually I was forced to accept it would not happen. However, it served as yet another example of deviations from normal investigative processes in this matter. Prosecutor Wolfe, who was alerting Hunter's lawyers about stuff that they were going to go search. There was a storage bin that they were going to go execute a warrant on. She alerted the defense. They cleared it out. And USA Wolfe made no reference to what she had shared over the open phone line being classified, which it would have been an improper disclosure of classified information. Someone should indict her and raid her house and go through her husband's bedroom and her son's bedroom. As such, I share this information under the belief that it does not contain any classified information. From Gary Shapley, whistleblower extraordinaire. And so very interesting that Kevin Morris apparently is a CIA asset. Does that mean that Hunter Biden is a CIA asset? Would that explain why he continues to basically get away with everything and that there are no repercussions for the Biden's crime family's decades of criminality? Here is Jason Smith. He is on one of the congressional committees investigating Hunter Biden and the Biden crime family. And here's what he says about this.
We've released the information that the IRS whistleblowers provided that proved that Hunter Biden, in fact, lied to Congress on at least 3 different occasions, the ones you just explained. Now this will be up to oversight and judiciary of whether they move forward on a criminal referral, which they should, because the evidence is crystal clear that Hunter Biden broke the law, which is a felony. We have seen the Justice Department on numerous occasions bring charges to people who lie to Congress. We now know Hunter Biden lied to Congress on 3 direct direct accounts on February 28th of this year.
Yeah, Congressman, it just seems like they're above the law because you can recommend charges to oversight and judiciary and they can move forward, but it's still up to Merrick Garland.
It's up to Merrick Garland. And unfortunately, we have seen this Biden administration that has looked at a two-tiered justice system, one that's for the Biden family and one that's for everyone else. And we're going to hold their feet to the fire. I'll tell you, Joe Biden's not going to be in the White House for long. In 7 months, Donald Trump will be president of the United States and it'll be a new Justice Department.
All right, let's go. All right, so that's good news. And hopefully there will be some actual justice in America because currently we have none. We have the DOJ that covers up for the Biden crime family. We have the CIA that covers up for the Biden crime family. Let's not forget, not only are they protecting the sugar brother, sugar daddy, whatever you want to call him, to Hunter Biden, they also help facilitate the 51 fake intelligence agents who wrote a letter claiming that the laptop was Russian collusion. All a CIA op. Everywhere we turn, CIA is involved in this stuff, and now we have a whistleblower who's confirming it for us. So, all right, that's about what we expected. Now, we'll see, is the CIA washing their hands of Joe Biden? Are they kind of done with him now, given the fact that Hunter has no more money? Joe Biden's not really on the ballot in Ohio unless they figure that one out, and they scheduled his debate before the convention. Joe Biden can't even talk. Are they pulling the rug on him? So we'll see. We'll be here covering this. This litigation is also going to be very interesting. So hopefully you join us as we continue our coverage here. We'd love it if you subscribe to our channel. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for becoming a member. It's a great way to support our work. Get some extra content. We do live streams in the morning talking about a bunch of other stuff that we can't squeeze in here. We do streams on Saturday. We'd love to have you join us as a member. And that way we can see you there and back here on the next one. All right, my friends. Well, that is it for us on the day. Man, that's a later show tonight. Look, the sun went down. It's getting dark in here. And that means it must be, what, 10 o'clock on the East Coast? Oh, it's past my bedtime on the East Coast, that's for sure. We covered two good grounds. Hunter's sugar daddy in the house. Hunter's ex-wife also testifying and releasing text messages. All of that is some spicy and juicy stuff. Now, my friends, it's time to hear from you. Let's see what you have to say about all of this from our friends at watchingthewatchers.locals.com. We have some amazing donos and super chats come in, including this one from Knox, saying, happy Thursday, all. I hope Robert doesn't get kidnapped by Mindhead, or whatever they call it, whatever I was at today. And that is a hilarious name. It's called the Genius Network, but Mindhead is also a good name. In fact, maybe that's what we'll call our new mastermind. Hey, come to Mindhead, where we fill your head with mind. Wow. How much for that one? All right. Thank you, Knox. Good to see you. Knox also shared this one from Babylon Bee. Did you see this news? Babylon Bee is reporting that the government prosecutors in the Alvin Bragg case have offered Michael Cohen $130,000 in hush money if he'll stop talking. Maybe they'll win their case. That's the headline. Yeah. You think he'll take it? He'll probably steal it. What's up, Flag Drop? Dropping flags. Good to see you. Flag Drop MJ, NJ in the house over as our new supporter. Great to see you, Flag Drop. What's up, Crash? Crash on Local says, juxtapose the prosecution's trial brief on Hunter with manner in which Bragg prosecutors refuse to even tell Trump who the next witness would be. Exactly. Right? You can just see one is a legitimate type of prosecution with actual elements of a crime and a criminal offense, and the other is not. Flag Drop says, be sure to wave your flags this weekend for our fallen soldiers and Trump if you want him to make America great again. Jersey is going to be in play. Thanks, Rob. Thank you, Flag Drop NJ in the house. Yes, it's Memorial Day weekend, and we do want to honor those who have served our country. Good to see you, Flag Drop. Thanks for the beautiful reminder in the house. We got Nick is here. What's up? Bringing in a new membo. Nick B is bringing in Gypsy. Good to see you, Nick B. Thanks for bringing in a new membo. Another one from Nick. Bringing in Mr. Trump Train. That's two from Nick. Hey, what's going on, Chris? Thank you, Rob. He says, we appreciate all the work you put into gathering this info and the work to set up to broadcast also. Well, thank you, Chris. We try to deliver. I know it gets a little bit wonky when we change the time, and I'm grateful that you're able to join us, even though we're a little bit later. I do enjoy our time together. I hate to miss it. Just Rhonda's in the house. What's up, Just Rhonda? Look at this. 10 new membos coming in, courtesy of Just Rhonda. Just Another Oglesby's here. What's Her Name is here. Heelhound. Cody L. Da Freak is here. Sir Toenail Cupcakerson presiding. Willie L. We got Luke, Robin, and Mary Harmony coming in the house. Thanks to Just Rhonda bringing in our new membos. Thank you, Just Rhonda. You're amazing. Hey, it's the Munkets bringing in 5 new membos. We got Terry B. What's up? Steven C's here. Vicky O. Wilk is here. Bria and Jay Jarvis coming in. Thanks to Tony Hay Munkets. This old guy says, Hallie was concerned Hunter was going to harm himself, so she threw the gun in a trash can. I guess that's an explanation for it. So someone else can harm themselves with it or something. It's kind of an irresponsible place to throw it. Everybody knows people go through trash cans at gas stations. What was she trying to do here? I don't know. Maybe she was on crack too. Who knows? Dolphin Fan is the man, bringing in new membos. Thank you, Dolphin. Look who's here. Exa, Blue Crow. We got Mad Mike, Awakening Wonders here. My Boo, Jackie K. What About Me? We got Gordon B, Kathy R, Jittery Hobos here. All courtesy of Dolphin Fan is the man in the house. We got JC says, please interview Good Logic, Article 78 for a segment. Well, we don't do a whole lot of interviews here, but if we start doing interviews, I'd absolutely love to talk to Good Logic. And we did a segment on his filing. If you missed that, JC, we did a full segment on his filing. I don't know what the latest is on it, so we'd refer you over there to him for it. But I appreciate his work, and thanks for the plug. Make sure you're subscribed to Good Logic. We love Good Logic here. What's up? Dolphin Fan is the man. Now bringing in 20 membos. What's up, Dolphin? Look at this one. TPP is coming in. We got Brian E. What's up? CGI Joe saying shout out. Annie's coming in. Skippy Peanut Butter. We got the Incredible Folk is here. Tyler G, Juju Queen. We got Mr. T, Dr. Voodoo, Mia A. We got Deb S, Nitty Linny, Mark G. What's up to Ditch Wicked? Christine's coming in. Stephanie P, Daro, Barb W, T, Tom Fitton is hot. He does work out. What's up? John Henry's in the house. It's good to see everybody. Dolphin Fan is the man, bringing in 20 new membos. Thank you, Dolphin, for bringing them in. What's up? Chris is here. Says hit every 20 minutes equals a crack monster. It's like, gosh, that's a lot of crack. A lot of crack. Yeah. What's up? Tony Hay Munkets. Dust in the Wind got gifted a membo courtesy of Tony Hay Munkets. Thank you, Tony Hay. Chris says, in California, we call Hunty a carpet shark. They be looking for that rock that he thought he dropped. A carpet shark. Going through the carpet fibers. Hey, what's up, Generic Derek? Great to see you. Says, yo, Rob, much love from England. Much love back. Shout out to our friends in the UK. Due to the sheer amount of despicable activities Hunty was up to it, can be difficult to catalog it all in my mind, so hoping you can help me with this one, please. Did Hunter have a satanic sex club membership revoked due to being too creepy? Yeah, I don't, was it satanic? I'm sure it was a sex club. I don't know if it was satanic, but yeah, there was one thing that he tried to do with, he tried to deduct that, I think. It was some like $75,000 a year, and it may be satanic. You got it right there. I was going to say, we got to ask Garrett Ziegler about that. It sounds so extreme that I'm unsure if I'm making it up, but I have faint memory of Ziegler saying something to that effect. Yeah, that's definitely a sex club membership, and he tried to deduct it as a business expense. I think it was $75K, and then he went one time, and then they're like, no, dude, like, get out of here. You're disgusting. So what's up? Stephen C. Membo for 8 months. 8 months as a membo. Thank you for the membo again, Tony Hay Munkets. Are you stringing these free membos together, Steve, for 8 months? That's incredible. That's amazing. Almost 1 month till a baby. Thank you for that, Steve. Glad to have you here. Knox is here, says, Chore Boy is the Brillo pad. Chore Boy is the Brillo pad. Okay. You're right about that. It looks like a Brillo pad. Is that used in the consumption of crack cocaine? I don't even know. What's up, Aussie Kev? Membo for 4 months says September trial is so Joe can forgive and release him. Yeah, I mean, I think if Joe loses, he'll pardon him anyways. Whether trial happens or not, he'll pardon him. Hey, what's up, Knox says, I feel like I've been to a meeting with fresh, still high newbies. On all these crackheads on these text messages. You felt a little dirty reading those. Like, oh, gosh. I hope they all get some help, man. Hopefully those crack dealers have all figured it out, found Jesus, whatever they need to do. We have a men's group every Tuesday. I'm serious. You know, it's available. What's up? If any of the crackheads who are in the text messages want to not be crackheads anymore, we're always looking for new guys in the hot seat. You know, it's good stuff. Michael Swade, of all the laws Hunter broke, they charge him with the one law that's completely unconstitutional. Hopefully Hunter takes it to SCOTUS, gets it overturned. Would laugh if he's the poster boy for the Second Amendment. If you mean, like, how dare they qualify your Second Amendment rights with a ridiculous question like that? Second Amendment doesn't say you have a right to keep and bear arms unless you're a crackhead. Doesn't say that. So why are they asking about that? Why are they making you fill out a stupid form? It's my right. If I want to be a crackhead with a gun, it's my right. This is America, baby. God bless America. What's up, Michael Swade? Nobody says, where the people's voice is not heard, there will be revolution. Nobody. That's from the World Teacher. Good to see you, nobody. We got this one from Jennifer. Says, thank you for another great show, Mr. Govea. We all appreciate you. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for saying that. JC, the old bag, Ike's girl, you got Jennifer's back. Thanks for that. We have a lot of fun. I'm really glad that we get to go through this stuff together. So thanks, Jennifer. Always super supportive and encouraging. I'm grateful for you. Jack Mack says, what's up? Super late show today. Tell me about it. Trump had a great rally at the Bronx tonight. Make sure you check it out. High energy on that one. So I didn't see it. I was skidding home from my event today, and I was racing through to try to figure out what we were talking about today. And I saw he spoke at the Bronx, but I didn't get to see much of it. So yes, I know that happened. We are planning on a members only morning stream in the morning. I don't know. Well, we're going to see what the schedule looks like tomorrow. We'll see if we do. In other words, we might do a members only morning stream, but open it up for beyond the members tomorrow, because I might have a dinner that I want to go to tomorrow night. We shall see. But the point is, we might talk about that in the morning, the Bronx thing in the morning. So I'll make a split decision here as soon as I'm done, I'm sure. But thank you for that, Jack. All right, so great stuff. Thank you, Jack, for sending that one in. Let's see who's joining us on X before we wrap it up on the day. Who is on X? Do we have anybody joining us? I know it's past our bedtimes. Many people on Locals have already gone to bed. They're like, this is too late, Rob. What are you doing? Hallie threw the gun into the dumpster, says Satoshi. What's up? We got Spuds is in the house. Gen X says, here's a mind cleanse. Oh, this is very helpful. Very helpful. Okay. Palate cleanse for the brains, my friend. This comes from Gen X, Rockhound 151 on X. Clear the brain. Look at that. It's beautiful. Beautiful scene. Clear the brain from that Hunter debauchery. And it's gone. We're free from that degeneracy. Thank you, Gen X. Give Gen X a follow and a like for that one. We appreciate the brain palate cleanse. Christina Hilton says, Mindhead. Isn't that from Chubby Rain? I don't know. Is it? Is that what it is? It's funny. Whatever it is. Mindhead. It sounds very fancy. It sounds like something I'd attend. I'm going to Mindhead, okay? I can't be here for the live stream. Sorry, I'm going to be at Mindhead. You wouldn't understand what it is. It's where we work on our minds with our heads, okay? All right, so that is what's going on X, my friends. Thank you for sending those in. What's up, 3D Slugs in the house? Great to see you, 3D Slug. Thanks for bringing in P-Dog Night as our newest of new membos. That, my friends, is going to be it for us on the day. Reminder, check out the show calendar. It's at robertgovea.com/calendar. And that way we'll know what the schedule looks like for tomorrow. And I will keep that updated. We may or may not have an afternoon stream tomorrow, but if we do not, then we'll have an early morning stream where we'll just hit the topics, the headlines, and some of the lighter fare, unless I have anything else to cover in the morning. But that's the plan. Thank you for subscribing, my friends. Thank you for hitting that notification bell so that when our schedule is wonky here, we can attend to it together. But that is going to be it for us on this very late night stream. I hope that you have a beautiful night's rest, because when we come back here tomorrow to get into it again, we're going to need to see you right back here so that together, with your help, we can shine that big, beautiful spotlight of accountability and transparency down upon our system with the hope of finding justice. Locals, hang tight, my friends. Have a beautiful night. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.